Hello, beautiful spirits. So God asked me to create a YouTube channel, so here I am being obedient. It's pretty much me just sharing my testimony out here. And so the testimony for today is all about a conversation that I had with a fellow woman at my church during a circles group. And she was pretty much saying, why does it feel like everything gets worse when you're like a Christian? Like, here I am trying to be like totally in alignment with God, trying to, do the right thing and be faithful and be patient and have, self-control, watch my words and everything. And yet life was just dealing her like situation after situation and she felt like, kind of looking back on it, like when I wasn't really heavily into Christianity and heavily into like having a relationship with God and following, his instructions, trying to just be the best child of God she could be, she felt like things were like so much easier. She felt like she wasn't really going through like half of the trials and tribulations that she was going through now. And she was just like, yo, what's going on? And immediately I kind of realized and told her, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think the difference is when we're not really in alignment with God, we're just doing things our own way. And 9 times out of 10, as people, we just like to take shortcuts and have instant gratification. Like we crave it. And so when a storm or trial or tribulation came, at least I'm gonna speak for myself, I wasn't like trying to figure out, oh, what's the best way I can handle this, and like how do I watch my words. As I say, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna call up my girls, I'm gonna call up my cousins, I'm gonna go party, I'm gonna go drink, I'm gonna be around people, I'm gonna do certain things because it feels good. And now I don't have to really worry about what I'm going through anymore. And it was all these just temporary satisfactions. And I realized, like, yo, at times without being really aligned with God, like if a storm came, I'm not even trying to get out the storm. I'm just gonna party my way till it clears up, and that doesn't help the problem at all, because then when it clears up, you just realize how damaged and wrecked pretty much things are, or even worse, you kind of keep a blind eye to it and act like it's not there, and things just pour out in a different way throughout your life that's pretty negative. Versus when you are in alignment with God, you're just more aware, like, number 1, I am in a storm. Number 2, like, I recognize this and I'm going to lean on God to help me in this situation. I'm going to go to the wise, godly counsel, people that I have in my world to seek their guidance. I'm going to go to the Word of God for it to tell me, and instruct me on how to handle these types of situations. I'm going to speak with God to figure out, like, all these things before I even make my next move, and that's like a lot more energy, a lot more thought process, and a lot more just energy that you're like putting into this situation that you're trying to like get out of. Like, you're like problem solving, but instead of like problem solving, like, how can I just make this the most fun and easiest way possible? Like, now you're just like, no, I'm gonna take the right approach. I'm not gonna take the fun way. I'm gonna take the godly way. I'm not gonna look at this as why me. I'm gonna look at like, okay, I see this in a spiritual sense. I see why it's happening to me. I see where I'm being stretched at right now. I see the people that are kind of being placed in my life that I would have never even saw coming if not for this storm right now. And instead of like also this like self-disparaging statements and like all this messed up stuff that you're saying while also trying to party and be better, like, instead you're actually self-reflecting on yourself and trying to improve. And I was telling her pretty much that's why it feels like things are such a bigger like why those trials and tribulations feel bigger now that you're a Christian, or feel like they're happening more. It's just like, honestly, it's just like dirty lenses from the past self now being cleaned off because you're aligned with God, and just really recognizing everything for truly what it is and what you could be if you direct yourself in a godly way through it. And that does take work, you know, but that work is worth it because it produces so much more fruits and so much more blessings and so much more favor upon your life and other people's lives through doing that. And if you don't know what I mean by that, stay tuned, because this channel is all about me just sharing my testimony here on YouTube, because becoming more in alignment with God is a spiritual journey. It is and it's for the long term if you really mean it. And I feel like I'll just be a person that shows you mine, just to show like, yo, it is so not easy at all. It's gonna be mad challenging, but you know, worth it. And yeah, so stay tuned for more videos. Peace.